But first, our top story. There will be no compromise in ensuring law and order, is what the Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy has said in a firm message to Telugu film directors and actors and producers. There was a big meeting today amid strained ties over the Pushpa 2 Stampede death row and the arrest of the actor Allu Arjun.
Telugu film industry's top producers and filmmakers meeting Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy. This just days after the Pushpa 2 Stampede death case. Among the producers attending the meet was the father of Allu Arjun, Allu Arjun, who is also a renowned film producer. Actors Akkineni Nagarjuna, Nagarjuna and Venkatesh and director K. Raghavendra Rao were also part of the meeting. The aim was to discuss the way forward after the tension in the film industry over Allu Arjun's arrest. There was a clear message from CM Revanth. Stars must be responsible for fans and that there will be no compromise on law and order.
The Chief Minister, while extending his support, made his priorities clear that there shall be no compromise on law and order. The meeting can also be seen as the Chief Minister extending a bigger picture to Tollywood with respect to making a vision for Hyderabad as this international place for filmmaking.
No tension, nothing, all will be solved today. It is over now. We will support Telugu industry in Telangana. Unfortunate incident happened before releasing that one Telugu movie. Then after that, yesterday you saw that a producer went and paid someone, not for money. We have to frame some guidelines today. After that, I will brief you.
The meeting was an olive branch being extended and facilitated by the Telangana Film Development Corporation Chairman, Mr. Dil Raju.
आज तेलुगु फिल्म छोड़ के बॉलीवुड से और तमिल फिल्म कन्नड़ा फिल्म सब फिल्म्स इधर शूटिंग हो रहे हैं और इसको इंटरनेशनल वाइज उसके लिए लॉजिस्टिक्स क्या चाहिए हॉलीवुड से भी पिक्चर्स आके इधर शूटिंग करने के लिए क्या क्या चाहिए वो लॉजिस्टिक्स पूछ रहा है वो हैदराबाद को ग्लोबल करना.
We also promise that there will be more caution in the way we address these large kinds of gatherings. The police also had suggestions on how to conduct these things, take better permissions, have better barricading, better things, and so that there is a system in which we can do these things.
A woman's death in the stampede outside the theatre in Hyderabad and subsequently Allu Arjun's arrest had sent shockwaves not just in the Telugu film industry, but had also shocked film fraternity across the country. The incident has ignited the debate, role of a star's responsibility in terms of being mindful of crowd control as opposed to promoting films with special appearances.
While a first step has been taken to break the ice between the government and the Telugu film industry, the Chief Minister, we are told, has made it clear that there will be no compromise on law and order, on the role of bouncers and private security, and the responsibility of celebrities. There is also no budging yet on allowing premiere shows or special or benefit shows. In Hyderabad, with Tanushka Datta and camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
So on the issue of crowd control, is the state shirking its responsibility? It really depends who you are asking, but the Chief Minister seems absolutely clear. Joining us now, Kanika Sadanand, the actor and advocate, Sanjana Galrani, the South Indian actress, Brajesh Kalappa, the senior advocate in the Supreme Court, supports the Congress party, Rachna Reddy, spokesperson of the BJP in Telangana. I'd like to thank you all very much for being with us. Sanjana Galrani, let me come to you first. Crowd control is as much the responsibility of celebrities as it is of the police, is what Revanth Reddy had to say. Do you accept that?
How is it physically possible? How can a celebrity physically crowd control? Isn't that the job of the cops, honorably? It's like there's manipulation to some level. If you want to drill a celebrity down and just put him in his grave while he's alive, this is the conversation that comes up. This is just personal vendetta and it's very clear. How can a celebrity crowd control? Will the celebrity focus on just waving at everyone? Or will the celebrity go and become a watchman over there and say, no, please stand far from each other? And then after that, they will go and promote their film, or after that, they'll go and watch the film. How is that possible? And did Allu Arjun go without a permission letter? He did not go without a permission letter. He had a 3-page permission letter, for God's sake. On basis of that permission, I'm not bringing up this permission letter like a film script. On basis of that permission letter in the Honorable High Court, he got his bail on the very same day where the case was booked. And that shows that how weak this case is. This has political vendettas in it. This has personal vendettas in it. Again, if there's a celebrity whom you find, make a scapegoat out of him and just rip him off in front of everybody, try to disrespect him, build another version that Allu Arjun responded saying, my film will be a hit, good, there's a death which has happened. Which human being talks like that in the planet? Do I talk like that? Can you talk like that? We are human beings. We're not demons to say, somebody died, my film will be a hit. We have a lot of humanity in us. They've compensated with 2 crores yesterday, the film team. That's how bad they feel. Before this, they compensated with 50 lakhs. Before that, they compensated with 25 lakhs. Money does not buy back a life. But who compensates 2 crores 75 lakhs over a Stampede death? Any Babaji in the past, has he contributed? He has not contributed. There's so many Stampedes that happened and deaths that have happened in political rallies. Has the politician got arrested? Has the Babaji got arrested? Has the politician given money as compensation? No ways. No ways at all.
Sanjana, hold on for a second. Let me bring in Brajesh Kalappa. You heard what she had to say, alleges personal vendetta or some sort of a political vendetta. How can actors be in charge of crowd control? How would you respond?
See, the first thing is, Vishnu, that as far as this incident is concerned, there is a specific refusal by the Hyderabad police, and that I think is being glossed over. And it may have been strategic that the government did not want to kind of exacerbate the situation. Therefore, this letter of refusal was not presented before the Telangana High Court, owing to which Allu Arjun got bail that day. Otherwise, one can only imagine that if there was a letter of refusal which was presented to the court, then certainly he would not have been able to get bail for a substantially long period in time. So this is the first part. Second part is that, this incident, I think to some extent it brings out how, film stars ought to behave while the process of permissions have not been taken, while the permissions have not yielded in additional security, additional barricades, and then also personal bouncers of the star having created a situation of a stampede. I think this is a moot point here, and I think the very fact that today the entire film fraternity, including the senior most actors and producers, including Allu Arjun's father, has also attended the meeting of the Chief Minister. So therefore, there is certainly thinking on both ends that, look, this has been a stray incident and we shouldn't have such more incidents in the future. So I think the first thing is for everybody to be, ad idem that this kind of a situation was highly unwarranted. And two, that this is something which ought to be avoided in future, and therefore to put in a plan of action wherein these kind of incidents are never to take place, and hopefully never will, thanks to the fact that everybody met today in a convivial kind of atmosphere. And therefore, we can only hope that much is taken out of this, and that this will lead to, ensuring that there are no such stampedes, there is no such ruckus in a filmy gathering.
Okay. Kanika Sadanand, how do you see the argument mentioned there by Brajesh Kalappa that a specific refusal letter which the police had was not presented to the court, perhaps in a bid to in a sense help Allu Arjun? That if that specific letter was presented saying that, look, we refuse you permission to be over there at this cinema, at this theatre, then you might end up being in in jail for a longer period of time. That the police were doing some sort of a favor. How would you respond? Can you unmute yourself?
I said thank you for having me on the show. Mr. Brijesh, what he is saying is absolutely contrary to what the Chief Minister is saying, because the Chief Minister said the rule of law must apply for all. The rule of law is that whatever evidence you have,
the rule of law is not broken.
If you're going to contest the bail, which they should be doing, because they took him into custody, and that's the duty of the police station or the cops, then why didn't they show that letter? So, which means they're showing him some kind of, some kind of partiality. However, I don't have a right or left stand on this. I want to say it was wrong. that that lady died and her son is in ICU and there was a stampede. But I say that the state has a responsibility to control the crowds and to maintain law and order. Now, what Mr. Brijesh is saying, that they didn't show that letter. So basically, they are also conniving, and they're also party to the death of that lady. Because if you are going to protect a citizen, you must show everything that you have to show that what you did was right in your duty. So first of all, there was nothing in writing as whatever I have
Getting
read.
a very important point here.
Just one sec, let Kanika finish.
Let me finish. The other thing I want to say is rule of law only because it's being used over here and in a state which is ruled by BJP, we don't worry about rule of law. So BJP also is making a big hue and cry thing. But what about those people who are arrested by ED and all this and they're still in jail? And the last thing I want to say is that this Allu Arjun giving compensation. There was a lady who said that he gave compensation. That does not, compensation is not the, I mean, you can't commit something like that and say, okay, I'll compensate you. But there is a star who has his job as an actor. That's his work. He is going to connect with his fans. He is going to go out there. The duty of the police is to control the crowds, to make sure there's no law and order situation. And they didn't do that.
Okay.
So here, both of them might be wrong. Allu Arjun, according to me, is not wrong that much because he thought there's permission. He has said, however, that he did not know that there was no permission. For that, somebody needs to be pulled up from his team.
No,
Okay, I just want to go
more
across to
responsibility
Rachna
should
Reddy
be
of the
taken
BJP.
by the actors. I agree with that.
There
Rachna,
was 100% permission which was taken.
ma'am, I'll name you and then I'll come to you. Rest assured, we've got time for everyone and your voice once again. But first, Rachna Reddy, one of the points mentioned by the Chief Minister is that for now, benefit shows or special screenings of movies have been banned. This is actually something which gives actors and an entire production a great deal of money. It's not a small amount of earnings. So therefore, is this not excessive?
Firstly, good evening to everyone. I would like to take it from where Mr. Brijesh has stopped. In fact, I'm also a lawyer, so I can speak about this. In fact, the fact of not having permission itself is grounds to have asked Allu Arjun to leave from that place when he started waving and when the roadshow started happening right away. In fact, no, ma'am, you're wrong. He did not have permission. He only made. Ma'am, hear me out.
Kanika, will you please wait? Kanika, we don't do this on the show like this.
I
Just
know
wait.
what I'm speaking.
Let Rachna finish. I will come to
He
you.
only made a representation. Nobody from his team or anyone else, even Sandhya Theatre, bothered to follow up if the permission was granted or not. If a permission is not granted and denied, or if absolutely no response is forthcoming, then it was the duty of Allu Arjun, his team, and Sandhya Theatre under the Hyderabad Police Act to approach the Honorable High Court. They did not think about it, they did not know about it, but that not knowing about it is not an excuse. Hence, the case slapped on him and his entire team under Section 105 PNS and 118 PNS is right. Because culpable homicide not amounting to murder does not have to deal with intention. It only deals with criminal negligence. Having said that, the fact remains that the cops were wrong in the fact that they ought to have completely stopped the event for which there was no permission. There was an illegal roadshow happening, hence the resultant stampede. And the fact remains that if there was permission, the barricades, the planning, the sketch of the entire place, etc., would have been taken care of by the law enforcement.
Right. Okay, you make an important point over there that the police also had a role to play over there. They
yes,
shouldn't have allowed
absolutely.
this
Having said
in the
that,
first place. Okay,
the place where... having
go ahead.
said that, Mr. Vishnu, the place where this entire legal fracas became political is when the Chief Minister addressed in the Assembly on the last date of the Assembly when there were more important bills to be passed. And Allu Arjun, I wonder who gave him the advice to talk when he's an accused A11 out on bail. when Allu Arjun gave an absolutely uncalled for press conference, and then the law enforcement came out with all the evidences of where he's been lying. So that was absolutely uncalled for, and I wish somebody had advised him not to utter a single word, especially when he's an accused in a criminal case.
He did not speak about the case.
The fact remains, he's an accused. He's A11 in a criminal case of criminal negligence. So Allu Arjun not being directly involved does not matter. The fact that it was his job to find out from his team to check once again with Sandhya Theatre and everyone if all the permissions were in order.
It's interesting to see, at least on some points, you see the BJP and the Congress, in a sense, arguing the same thing. But Sanjana, go ahead.
The death of the lady happened at 9:14 p.m., whereas Arjun came into the theatre only at 9:45 p.m. He didn't even know there's an incident like this which has happened in the theatre. He was not even there in the theatre.
Coming to the theatre itself is wrong.
He was not even there in the theatre. So how can, just because he's a celebrity, you're making him a scapegoat and just talking rotten without any proof or evidence?
Nobody is making anyone a scapegoat.
No, you're just making him a scapegoat for the heck of it, and you have no right to talk wrong about him unless you know the true facts.
Nobody is making anybody
unless you know the true facts, you have absolutely no right to talk.
All right.
It's the job.
All right, one sec, everybody calm down. Rachna, hold on for 1 second. I'll give you a chance. Sanjana, make your point, yes?
If the case was so strong and if he's really, conducted such a heinous crime of somebody dying because of him, you think he'll get bail the same day? Murderers in our country don't get bail for 3 months, 4 months. So if he's got bail the same day,
Supreme Court has specified that bail is the norm. Bail is the norm in this country, right? Jail is an exception to the rule, so that's not entirely unexpected. But
it's not unexpected at all.
But I think Sanjana, 1 second. Sanjana, everyone just hold on. Sanjana, is it not also important to understand that stars do have a certain role in ensuring that things don't get out of hand?
But he was not even there in the location.
Shouldn't a star
He's
like
a very
Allu
responsible
Arjun
person.
actually look at the crowds around
we all look up to
and
him
have
as
a
a role
certain
model in
sense?
Telugu film
One sec, let me ask and then you answer. I'm just asking you, shouldn't stars be aware of what's happening around them? Shouldn't they be more careful? Shouldn't they get a sense of the crowds over there? Shouldn't they be more proactive in gauging their situation?
Absolutely, they should be, but that situation has not happened in front of him or in his presence. He doesn't even know about it. He got to know about it the next day. On basis of that itself, he's got his bail, sir. Please try to understand my point. He's not even in the situation of the death. The death has happened, unfortunately, at 9:14 p.m. He has come at 9:45 p.m. Just because he's a celebrity, pack him up and put him in jail to set an example. This is what has happened here, and that's why he's got bail. The honorable judge herself told, Madam herself told, it was a lady judge, he's not an accused. You have forced him to become an accused.
All right, Kanika, would you like to come in over there just to the specific point that Sanjana mentions, that at the time of all of this, Allu Arjun may not even have been aware of what the situation was developing around him.
He was kilometers away.
But I don't want to, Sanjana, 1 second. I accept what Sanjana said, because celebrities, when they go, actors, when they go for their films, especially in the South, they are like demigods, and when they go, there's a frenzy. But the point, and at that time, there's no way that they can instruct or, say that, okay, do this, do that, because they themselves are being pushed by their bodyguards and whoever there, it's actually, they literally like carry them to the stage and then carry them out of the stage. But I want to say one thing here, Vishnu. What the lady said, that Allu Arjun had no right to give a press conference, but even the chief minister, being in a constitutional position, he had no right to make all these statements when the matter is sub judice. Because you cannot incite a person, and especially he's not somebody who's just a layman on the road who will keep quiet. He's answerable to his fans. He's answerable towards his own credibility. He is going to say something. If you incite him and say, "Arey, aise kyun kiya?" Why did the chief minister speak like that? And therefore, Allu Arjun had to give a press conference. So we must respect the law, and if something is sub judice, we must not be, trying to do strong arm tactics or like, I'll not let your film be released. Why? Why do they do this with celebrities? Why don't you arrest some businessman who has violated the law, who probably has violated the environmental law? He is still roaming around. He's making crores and crores.
Would you like
but
to
just
respond
because
to
celebrity and their soft
that
targets,
actors are easy targets?
Absolutely. Actors are the most favorite
No, 1 second. Brijesh,
targets.
Kalappa, would you like to go ahead with that? Are actors easy targets?
You see, actors are not easy targets. In fact, it's an extremely unpopular decision for a chief minister to take on a big actor like this. Because you see, Allu Arjun has just demonstrated how popular he is at the box office. His film has collected over 1,000 crore in a matter of days. And any chief minister, any police officer would be highly circumspect in acting against such a star. And I must give full credit to the chief minister for having, stepped up on this extremely unpopular decision, so-called unpopular decision. Ultimately, what happens, we don't know. Because in the public domain,
the full film industry the next day.
1 minute,
and
madam,
gloating,
1 minute.
his face
Please
is
kindly
literally
don't
gloating
speak
that I got
over me,
everybody
madam.
under one umbrella.
So,
Kanika, half a
the point I'm making is, Vishnu, that the fact that he has taken this decision itself, has raised his estimation in my eyes. And the second part is that as far as actors are concerned, we have seen even in an instance like the Mobi crash, the bridge crash, the government of Gujarat, over 141 people had died. They did nothing. In fact, they didn't even arrest the main accused, that businessman. So here, the government has been so active, proactive, and to take somebody like Allu Arjun into custody, I think,
Mr.
despite the
Brijesh,
fact
are
that
you
it
saying
could
that
really
in Telangana
boomerang,
there are
I
no
think it's
no
something which
businessmen who
the
violate
chief
the law?
minister has
okay,
done.
one sec,
There are no other people
Kanika.
violating the law.
Absolutely
Why don't you
extraordinary.
arrest them? There's so
Kanika,
much
go ahead.
happening in Telangana right now for the last 1 year.
There is, Vishnu, there is a lot of hue and cry just because Allu Arjun is a celebrity. But thank God for small mercy that the law in this country works the same for everyone. I'm from the Bharatiya Janata Party, but as a lawyer, I will state that the sections against him are absolutely by the book, and the manner in which it ought to have been done has been done by the book. Having said that, the place where it became, or rather where it was made political, was when he spoke about Allu Arjun in the assembly, and then followed up with other ministers in the cabinet who were talking absolute rubbish about banning this,
So,
that.
Rachna,
Yes,
just so that I
that
understand,
aspect is
and as
political.
a spokesperson of the BJP, your party's argument is against the Congress party and the chief minister, and what he said in the state assembly, it's not against what the police have done. Am I right?
Exactly. What we are stating is that let the law take its course. Here, Allu Arjun, his team, the Sandhya Theatre organizers are all jointly and individually responsible for what happened there because they had no permission. It was their job to find out if there was permission or no, and then make a move as spoken by Mr. British.
No, but Rachna, this is the part I don't understand. Because just after this all happened, Allu Arjun's team released the letter which was actually sent across. The police, and to which they said that, look, we have applied for permission, to which there was a counter from the police where they said that, no, it was not properly formatted. And now we are told in the last several days that, in fact, there was a rejection letter as well. I'm hearing for the first time on this program that rejection letter was not presented in court to deliberately protect Allu Arjun. That also
Vishnu,
seems strange.
under the
Rachna, go ahead.
should be held for contempt.
One sec, everybody. I am a pacifist, please, let's not fight. Rachna, and then I will come across to my other panelists.
Sanjana,
I'm only trying to state here.
Hold on, everybody. Rachna first, I will come to you.
Half an hour before when you get
Vishnu,
an idea to
Vishnu,
defend yourself.
Vishnu, I understand.
And then give it out in the social
people
media.
From the film industry will be agitated, but having said that,
Yes.
just throwing a mere representation and not following it up with whether it was accepted or rejected or absolutely no decision was taken is the fault of Allu Arjun and his entire team.
Okay, all right, let's leave it over there.
They ought to follow it up because
got
it's required under the Hyderabad
Rachna. I'm giving 30 seconds to Kanika and then 30 seconds to Sanjana. Kanika, would you like to start? Summarize your argument in 30
Just
seconds.
two things. If the police has not given the letter in the court, then they are in contempt. The chief minister and the police must be taken under in the contempt law. They must be answerable to the court. Secondly, Allu Arjun, any star, in fact, any big businessman, they don't go into the nitty-gritties. They expect that their team is going to do the job and complete it. And if he has, the only fault probably is that he depended on his team to do the correct things. And that is probably his folly. But for that, he doesn't need to be going into jail. And then everything else is a matter of trial. We will see whether there was a police letter, did they receive it? All that is going to be a matter of time.
All right, okay, your time is ended, Sanjana. 30
It's just
seconds,
a
go ahead.
matter of less than a month or 2 months. The entire case will be quashed because it has no facts.
All right.
And this is my open challenge to everyone who is debating against Allu Arjun. With due respect, what is truth will remain the truth,
Okay.
and truth will triumph. This case will
I
be
think we
completely
can all agree
quashed
with that.
within a few
I think
months.
let's end this
And
debate
then we
because
will
we
talk.
can all agree that whatever the judge says, whichever court says it, that's the final word. And fair enough, we'll see what happens.